friends, JENNCASCELL here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. Today we're going to be doing a beginner-friendly tutorial featuring the Honolulu alcohol markers from Ohuhu Markers. They've generously gifted me these to create along with the acrylic markers that they offer. I have the 48 color set of alcohol markers as well as the 24 color set of the acrylic. So these markers have been amazing. I've been wanting to try alcohol markers for quite some time. I'm super interested in the blendability of the markers. I love the color that they have, and the only thing that was keeping me from doing it was the investment. So I know that a lot of the alcohol markers on the market are super pricey, and I just didn't know if I wanted to, invest that kind of money into something that I didn't even know if I liked. And I will say that this 48 marker set has a ton of different color to it. It's super, super affordable. Ohuhu Markers have generously given my subscribers a 10% off using this coupon code at their website, which I'm going to link everything in the description box. So let's dive into what these markers are. So the 48 color set looks like this. Lots and lots of color. It does also come with a colorless blending brush and a ton of different variations in colors, so you can really use them to make your own color combinations to blend out. The acrylic markers, the 24 color set, this is what you're getting here. I love the opacity of these markers. Super easy to cover up any mistakes that you have made, which we all do, especially when we're learning something new, and we're going to learn this together. So today we are going to be making some cards, and this is a couple of examples of what we're doing today. And yes, I know Christmas in July is over, but I'm going to be slaying the summer. So I really wanted to try out a floral design on this, and I have this large poinsettia stamp available, so I figured we would play with that. Let me give you a different view of my desk and we can dive in. So let's just take a closer look at the cards that I've created. I mean, look at how cool that came out and how super realistic these poinsettias look when you have the ability to blend the color like this. So stinking cool. So to get started, I have just stamped, I used these two that I had in my stash. They are older ones, but I just stamped them using a plain black dye ink to get started. Nothing crazy here. I wanted the dye ink so that it dried really quickly. The paper that I used is just a marker pad that I picked up off Amazon, although I will say that I had good luck with 110-pound cardstock from Michaels as well. The marker paper has almost like a slicker surface though, and this does not bleed through, which I thought was cool because you do want to kind of play with your color combinations before getting started. I am playing with a slightly different red blend than what I did on the original cards just because I wanted to try out something a little different. So I chose these three here, and I'm using the amaranth, the grape juice, and prune juice for my 3-color blend for my poinsettia. I also pulled out, this is the glass green as well as the aged pine green, and I'm just doing a 2-color blend for the leaves. And I've also gone ahead and pulled the mustard and dark marigold for the inside of the poinsettias. And this is the color blend that I got from those. This is the color blend that I got from the reds. And then this is the color blend that I am using for the leaves. So there's our dual tipped. So one side you have a fine point that looks like this. And then the other side is a brush tip. I did find that I use the brush tip more than anything else. Depending on the angle that you're holding it at, you can get a nice thick line, or you can get a really tiny line to get into all those little details. I am going to start with the lightest yellow. And once again, I'm using that brush tip, and I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna hit all of these little dots in the center of my flower. And I am kind of going through on the center as well, even if that's not in the dots, like so. Now I'm going to pull in, while it's still wet, I'm going to pull in that dark, and I'm just going to go in between all of these dots, just to kind of darken everything down a bit. And then once again, I'm going to hit that yellow a little bit. The trick to these markers is keeping everything wet so the color can kind of pull together. So now I'm going to go in while that's drying with, this is the lightest of my color blends. Once again, I'm using Amaranth, and I'm going to use my brush tip, and I'm just going to start hitting the petals of this flower. And I just want to go all over to give an all over base for this. And I'm not even worried that I made a little mistake there coloring outside the line, because I am cutting this whole thing out. All right, now that we have a nice base to this, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. But don't put away your marker yet, because this is how you get these color blends. So now I have my second color, which is the grape juice. And I'm gonna start giving some darkness to some of these areas. So I want some dark right along, and I'm gonna be working with each petal at this point. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna have a little bit of dark here. Now I'm also going to take my original base and use that to kind of blend. Now this is why you want a nice heavyweight cardstock when doing something like this, because you're going to be putting in several layers of color. And once again, I'm hitting it with that dark. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my darkest color, which is the prune juice. And I'm going to hit all of these dark lines in here. And let's go in with our medium color. And it's going to be a lot darker right in here. And you can see how that ink is just kind of sitting on top of the page. Okay, and then my darkest, I'm gonna add some right down here. See how it's starting to pool a little, go up through these leaves. You're gonna get that gorgeous color. Okay, darken it down at the tip. And then we're definitely going to have a little shadow right here. Okay. Now let's add some more of our really dark color. Definitely in that shadow And then I'll hit those leaves a little, or the veins of the flower. So, I mean, look at how far we've come with this. Notice the opacity over here, and then you have those colors blending together to create something so unique and cool. So once again, I'm gonna come in with my darker color, and we're definitely gonna need some shading in here because it's sitting underneath. Let's let that sit for a moment because we're definitely not done with that. And we can start doing these smaller poinsettias. So once again, I'm gonna start with my lighter yellow. And this one I'm just kind of dotting on because I'm actually going to go over this with stickles, so you're not going to see a whole lot of it. And this one, I'm going to start with the lighter green, and I'm just going to hit all of these leaves in here. Give it a good base. Okay, now I'll go in with, this is the aged pine green, and I'm just dotting at the top towards the petals where there would naturally be a bit of shadow. Okay, and I'm hitting with the glass green again and just kind of blending that up. I'm gonna go back. I'm still using the amaranth, and I'm gonna go in, give all those petals just a wash of color. All right, I got my base color down, and now I'm gonna go in with my medium, and again, I'm working individual petals. So now I'm gonna go in with that super dark one and just hit all of the little shading. I am not going to hit the petals, I'm not going to hit the lines in the petals this time around just because it's such a small surface, and I'm really just kind of dotting this color on. All right, so look at how that turned out. Really pretty, but we are not done yet. So before moving on to the next step, I am gonna hit it with a little heat just to make sure that everything is dry. So now I'm gonna go in and add some highlights, and I am using the white color in the acrylic markers. Give it a little shake, and then take your tip off. And once again, these have a nice brush tip to them. Love this brush tip. And then I'm going to go in and just naturally where you would find a little highlight, Really, really pretty. I'm also going in with a little bit of the black acrylic, and I want those petals to be really dark at the center so that there's a nice juxtaposition of the dark and light from the center of the stamens. Let's bring that white back, and we're gonna hit the petals on this. Once again, I'm just going pretty easy. This is such a small area. Just giving a little bit of highlight to it. Look at how these poinsettias came to life. I mean, wow, 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 wow. So now I'm going to use a pair of scissors and cut everything out, and I will be right back. All right, so now let's start working on our card now that I have these poinsettias cut out. My card is a 5 by 6.5 card, so take a 10 by 6.5 piece of cardstock and fold it in half to create your base. The black is just a 1/2 inch off those measurements, so it measures 4.5 by 6. And then I also have these two pieces. So this white piece here, I have embossed with this really pretty holly pattern. I hope that it's picking it up. But this measures 4 by 5.5. And then I just added a 1/4 of an inch, so it has an 1/8 of an inch on either side. So 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. So you'll have something like this when you're done, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue these together. I'm using a liquid glue for this. So I've also cut these leaves. This is a Scrap Diva die set, and I ended up adding a little shading to this, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. So I'm gonna come over here, and I'm using my acrylic markers for this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna just gently go in at the corners where these leaves meet the stem. I'll just add a little white highlight on these branches. I've also cut this Noel. This is a Scrap Diva die as well. I will link it in the description box. So let's just place our flower before actually adding anything onto it. I like that. I think I'm gonna do this one down below, and then I'll have my Noel up here. Let's just kind of play with it before gluing everything down. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Super pretty, but now let's take it up a notch. I brought out some stickles, and this is just like a champagne-y color, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the center of my poinsettia. I'm just gonna kind of go in and dot it in the areas just to give it a little extra oomph. And I'll do it with these ones too on the side here. That's why I didn't go too crazy on the centers, because I knew I was going to be adding just a tiny bit of glitter in there. And here is a red stickle that I'm using. Now I'm just going to go through and give it a little bit of glitter right on these veins of the petals. I just love this look. Love the blendability of the markers, and then adding that pop of glitter. It's just so holiday. It's not the holidays for me without a little bit of glitter. I do have a couple of flat back pearls that I'm going to add. All right, so here's my finished product. Really, really pretty. Love this card. And let's take another look. Here's the Hope one. And then we have the piece right here. And Joy. So pretty. So pretty. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you Ohuhu markers for sending me some amazing sets to play with. I really encourage you to give alcohol markers a try. Coloring in general, if you've never tried it before, it's so fun. I really do love the techniques. So if you are interested, Ohuhu markers did give me a coupon code, JENNCASCELL10, and I will link everything in the description box for you. You are definitely going to want to check these out. Super fun, the acrylic markers. Take a look at that color pattern again. So good. And then we have the alcohol markers right here, and these are the colors that you're getting with that. Super blendable, lots of fun. I highly encourage you to check it out. So thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more crafty content. I'll see you in the next crafty video. Bye!